our last lesson, we talked about pitch being one of the four characteristics of tone. And we learned that pitch register is a relative measure of the highness or lowness of pitch. We also learned that every tone was named for some form of the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, or G. In this lesson, we will talk about pitch in terms of its specific identity. When we use the name of a tone in conjunction with its register, for example, telling a musician to play an F one octave higher than middle C, we are describing a specific pitch. Over hundreds of years, musicians have developed a means of musical notation which allows for the immediate communication of specific pitch as well as the other characteristics of tone. Pitch varies by how high or how low it sounds, so it was decided by ancient musicians to portray this vertical movement visually on a graph. Our current graph consists of 5 lines and 4 spaces, each of which is named for one of the tones A, B, C, D, E, F, or G. However, the register of a staff is determined by whether it occurs above or below middle C. Thus, the names of the lines and spaces on a staff will change depending on which register it represents. For example, if there is no symbol or sign to show a flute player that the staff sits above middle C, then the lines and spaces for that staff will have no meaning. By the same token, if there is no symbol or sign to show a cello player that the staff sits below middle C, then the same problem exists. The symbols we use to show the musician whether the staff is above or below the middle C are what we call the bass and treble clefs. In the upper staff, the treble clef is also called the G clef. Notice that this clef, represented here by a modern letter G, is positioned to surround the staff line we have named G above middle C. In the lower staff, the bass clef is additionally called the F clef. Here, the clef is represented by a modern letter F and has been positioned to surround the staff line we have named F below middle C. These letters, G and F, and their relative positions on the staff are still used on today's staves. The letters have undergone significant artistic embellishment through hundreds of years, however, and now appear as the letters have become far more ornate, almost unrecognizable as letters if we did not know what they were originally. However, the G clef still surrounds the line we call G, and the symbol itself tells us more precisely that this is the G just above middle C. The F clef still surrounds the line we call F, and the symbol itself tells us that this is specifically the F just below middle C. One way of remembering the names of the lines and spaces within the staves is to commit to memory the following phrases. In the treble or G clef, from the bottom line to the top line, every good boy does fine, and from the bottom space to the top space, the spaces spell the word face. In the bass or F clef, from the bottom line to the top line, great big dogs fight animals, and from the bottom space to the top space, all cars eat gas. This concludes our lesson on specific pitch, Part 1. Our next lesson, Specific Pitch, Part 2, will finish the discussion of this first characteristic of tone.